Have you ever wondered why chip bags are filled with air? It's a question that has likely crossed your mind as you've reached into a newly opened bag, only to find it half full. You might have felt a twinge of disappointment, maybe even a sense of betrayal. Is it just a cunning ploy by companies to make you think you're getting more than you actually are? Or is there a more scientific reason behind this seemingly excessive air? Well, it's not just ordinary air, and it's not there by accident. This invisible filler has a purpose, a very crucial one at that. It's a secret that the snack industry has been keeping under wraps for ages. But fret not, we're about to blow the lid off this mystery. So buckle up, chip lovers, as we embark on a crunchy journey into the world of snack packaging. Get ready to unveil the secret behind the air in your chip bags. Before we jump into the air mystery first, let's take a quick journey back in time. Just imagine a world without your favorite crispy and crunchy potato chips. Yes, that was the reality until the mid-19th century. When the first potato chips were introduced, they were simply wrapped in paper bags, quite unlike the shiny, colorful packages we see today. As the popularity of chips soared, manufacturers realized the need for better packaging. The humble paper bag was not quite up to the task. It didn't provide the necessary protection from moisture or air, and the chips would often end up stale and unappetizing. Enter wax paper. By the early 20th century, chips were being packaged in wax paper bags, providing a better barrier against the elements. Yet there was still room for improvement. The wax paper bags were prone to tearing, and the chips were still susceptible to crushing, a cardinal sin in the world of snack foods. The real game changer came in the 1960s with the advent of metallized film. This shiny material is actually a plastic film coated with a thin layer of metal, typically aluminum. The metallized film is not only strong and durable, but it also provides excellent protection against light, moisture, and air. But the story doesn't stop there. The bags weren't just filled with chips and sealed. They were inflated with a particular type of gas, which we'll talk about in the next scene. This gas, or air as we often refer to it, plays a crucial role in preserving the quality of the chips and preventing them from being crushed during transport. So as we see, the evolution of chip packaging has been driven by a need for preservation and quality. From paper bags to wax paper, and finally to the modern metallized film, each step in this journey has been about making sure that when you open a bag of chips, what you get is fresh, crispy, and delicious. Now, let's delve into the science behind the air in chip bags. You might be surprised to learn that it's not just regular old air puffing up those chip bags. It's actually nitrogen gas. But why nitrogen, you ask? Well, it's all about preservation and protection. You see, the oxygen we breathe is great for us, but not so great for chips. Oxygen speeds up the degradation process of the chips, causing them to become stale. Nobody wants to munch on stale chips, right? Now, nitrogen doesn't react with the chips the way oxygen does. It helps keep the chips fresh for longer by slowing down their degradation. Think of nitrogen as the ultimate bodyguard for your favorite snack, fighting off the oxygen that tries to ruin the party. It's like a superhero, but invisible and mostly tasteless. But that's not all the nitrogen does. The other reason chip bags are filled with nitrogen is to protect the chips from getting crushed. Imagine you're a chip, and you're on a journey from the factory to the store, then to someone's home. That's a lot of movement, and chips are fragile. So, how do you protect these delicate, crispy snacks? You give them a cushion. And that's what the nitrogen does. It provides a cushion of gas that helps prevent the chips from turning into crumbs before they reach your mouth. To visualize this, imagine the chip bag is like a balloon. When a balloon is deflated, it can be easily squished and damaged, but when it's inflated, it's much harder to squish. The nitrogen in the chip bag acts like the air in the balloon, protecting the chips from getting squished during their journey to you. In essence, the nitrogen in chip bags serves two main roles. It's a preservative, keeping your chips fresh and tasty, and it's a protector, ensuring your chips arrive in one piece, ready for you to enjoy. So, it's not just air, it's actually a science-backed preservation technique. But wait, there are some common misconceptions about the air in chip bags that need to be addressed. One of the most widespread misunderstandings is that chip companies are just trying to deceive us into thinking we're getting more for our money. The bag seems full, but once you open it, you're greeted by a pile of chips that barely fills half the bag. Surely this must be some form of trickery, right? Well, not exactly. The truth is, chip companies aren't filling bags with air to cheat customers, but rather to protect the delicate product within. Imagine buying a bag of chips, only to find them all crushed into tiny pieces by the time you open it. Not quite the satisfying crunch you were looking for, is it? This protective air isn't just any old air either. It's actually nitrogen. Our everyday air contains about 21% oxygen, which can cause the chips to spoil and the oil to become rancid. Nitrogen, on the other hand, helps to preserve the freshness and flavor of the chips. So that half-filled bag is actually a tiny, snack-preserving anti-crush device. Pretty cool, huh? Another misconception is that all chip bags contain the same amount of air. In reality, the amount of air or nitrogen in each bag can vary depending on the type of chip, the size of the bag, and even the altitude at which the bag is sealed. For instance, bags sealed at higher altitudes tend to have more air inside to counter the lower atmospheric pressure. If they didn't, they would end up looking deflated at sea level. And nobody wants a sad, deflated bag of chips, do they? So despite the initial disappointment of opening a bag to find it half full, remember, it's all in the name of delivering you the perfect, fresh, and uncrushed snack. The next time you hear someone complaining about the air in chip bags, you'll know the real deal. To wrap things up, here are some fun facts about chip packaging that you might not know. Let's start off with a bang. Did you know that the air puffing up your chip bags isn't just plain old air? It's actually nitrogen. Yes, the same nitrogen that makes up about 78% of the Earth's atmosphere. And the reason for this is twofold. First, nitrogen helps to preserve the crunchiness of the chips by preventing them from oxidizing, which would make them go stale. And second, it acts as a cushion during transportation, protecting our beloved snacks from being crushed. Now here's a fun fact that might tickle your taste buds. The process of filling chip bags with nitrogen isn't as simple as it sounds. It's actually a carefully controlled process. The amount of nitrogen used in each bag is meticulously measured to ensure the perfect balance between preserving the chips and providing enough cushioning. And speaking of precision, did you know that chip companies use a process called drop testing to ensure the chips can survive the journey from the factory to your pantry? They do this by dropping chip bags from different heights and angles to test their resilience. The goal is to make sure that the chips inside remain intact, no matter what bumps or drops they might encounter during their journey. But wait, there's more. Did you know that the design and color of chip bags are carefully chosen based on psychology and market research? Companies often use bright and contrasting colors to grab your attention. And the images of chips on the bags? They're usually photographed in a way to make them look as appealing and mouth-watering as possible. And finally, here's a little nugget of trivia. The world's largest bag of chips was created by a company in Kansas City, Missouri in 2011. It weighed a whopping 1,320 pounds. That's a lot of chips. Who knew chip packaging could be so interesting? Let's quickly recap what we've learned today. We've journeyed through the intriguing history of chip packaging, discovering that this air we often complain about is not just air, but a specific gas mixture designed to keep our favorite snacks fresh and crunchy. We've unraveled the science behind this, learning that nitrogen gas is the unsung hero of our chip bags, warding off moisture and oxygen that could lead to spoilage and sogginess. We've also debunked some common misconceptions. No, chip companies are not cheating us by filling bags with air. They're actually providing a cushioning effect to protect chips from breakage during transportation. We've even shared some fun facts about chip packaging, like the fact that the first potato chip bag was invented in the early 20th century. So the next time you open a bag of chips, remember that air is actually preserving your snack's crunch and freshness. Before we say goodbye, we've got one last crunchy nugget for you. If you enjoyed our journey into the secret life of chip bags, remember to subscribe and hit that like button. It's just one click, but it makes a world of difference to us. Image of subscribe and like button pops up on the screen. Your support helps us delve deeper, explore further, and bring more intriguing content your way about things you wonder about. So go ahead, give that button a crunch. We mean a click. Your next bag of chips thanks you, and so do we.